Hi, my name is Danny Brown and I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group. And in this video, we're going to talk about the top 4 things you should do to prepare yourself for a recession. So there's a lot of talk out there that the United States is headed for a recession. We are not in one yet, technically. So what constitutes a recession is 2 quarters in a row of contraction in the United States economy. So in Q1, we saw a contraction of 1.4%. Will we see one in Q2? We don't know yet, but it has to be back-to-back quarters to be in a recession. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about some strategies that you can put into place if we do find ourselves in a recession. So the first strategy, and you should be doing this anyway, is budgeting. So sticking to a personal budget. Lots of people don't like to talk about money, but it's really important to sit down with your spouse or partner. If you're single, it makes it much easier, but review your expenses, how much money is coming in on a monthly basis versus how much money is coming out, and actually looking at it. I've done budgeting with some people recently, and they were shocked at what they found. Streaming services being charged to their account on a monthly basis that they didn't even realize were being charged. Some people realizing I eat out for lunch and dinner a lot and can actually save some money if I start making food at home. It's also healthier. So looking at your budget, seeing where your money is going on a monthly basis is super important, because it's very easy these days to just swipe your card, put things on auto debit and just ignore it. And as long as you're not negative, then you feel like you're fine. That is a terrible way to do it. So do your budget and then stick to it. Second thing is pay off debt. Pay off bad debt. That's typically credit card debt or buy now, pay later situations, which are super popular right now. That is awful debt and you need to get rid of it. So paying that debt down as quickly as possible, making payments above that minimum if you can. Those minimum payments are set up to keep you in debt forever. It's like having a 30-year mortgage. So you're never going to get it paid off if you're paying those minimums. So try to pay that off as quickly as possible. The third thing you want to do is have 3 to 6 months cash reserves. You don't want to have that invested in the stock market. You don't want to have it invested in something where if you sell it, it triggers a taxable event or you lose money. So have that set aside in liquid cash savings account. I know inflation is high and it's going to lose value based on the rate of inflation, but you need to have quick access to it in case something happens. You know, this is life, so people get sick, they lose jobs, stuff breaks. A friend of mine was just talking about how they had to replace an air conditioning unit here in Phoenix and it was very expensive, but fortunately they had reserves set aside to go ahead and take care of that. When you do pull from those reserves, stop saving in investments and then pay those reserves back. You always want to have 3 to 6 months. And the 3 to 6 months is your survival number, not how much money you spend on just a normal month when life is good. If you had to cut a bunch of stuff out, if you did have to make those minimum payments, what is your survival number? How much would you need on a monthly basis just to live? Mortgage or rent payment, your grocery bills, like those types of things. So figure out that survival number, multiply it by 3 to 6, and have that set aside in cash. The other thing to remember when you're in a recession, which is hard because everything seems to be falling around you, like right now the stock market is going down, seems like every single day, but is continue your long-term investment strategy. So people don't get wealthy buying and investing into their 401ks or the stock market when they're at record highs. They make money and become wealthy when those things are on sale. So right now everything's on sale. It's come down quite a bit. And so this is the time that you want to continue to invest in the stock market. And this is called dollar cost averaging, where you're investing the same amount every single month despite what the market is doing. Getting rich is not something that happens overnight. It is a very long, tedious, boring process. And the greatest magic trick that exists within the United States is compound interest, that you invest a little bit all the time on a regular basis. And then as time goes by, you are now suddenly wealthy. So stick to your investment strategy. And if your employer does a match, the minimum you should be doing is that match. So a lot of employers will match up to 3%. So you should be doing at least 3%. Working up to 20% of your income should be your goal that you're putting away in that investment. And remember that purchasing a home, I am in real estate, purchasing a home is a long-term investment. So part of your investment strategy should be owning your primary residence, and that is part of that investment strategy overall. So implementing all of these strategies together is what you should be doing anyway, and it will also help you achieve home ownership if you don't own your own home right now. And there's a bonus tip. Number 5 is beef up your resume. So recession usually means that there's a contraction in the economy, like I said, for 2 consecutive quarters. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that all sectors within the economy are contracting. It could be specific to different sectors. So beef up your resume. That contraction in whatever sector of the economy it's in will typically lead to job losses. We don't typically have recessions where everyone's keeping their jobs or the job market is continuing to increase. So if you find yourself in the unfortunate situation where you are in that sector that's contracting, you may end up losing your job. So it's a good idea, if you think we're headed into a recession, to beef up your resume. Maybe start networking with people that are in, the fields that you're in. Everybody says get a side hustle. I don't think that's as easy as they make it sound, but if you have the ability to do that, we do have this gig economy now, so that is the ability to potentially make some side money from other things. So maybe start exploring some of that as well. So the thing to remember is that recessions happen, and they've happened a lot in the United States' history, so they're not necessarily a bad thing. Again, we all have recency bias. In the last recession that we had, 07, 08, was a really bad one. But most recessions are very vanilla, super mild, and it's just the economy going through a transition and shifting. We've been in this bull market for a very, very long time where everything's been growing and it's been great, and we're pretty much overdue for a recession in general. When is it going to happen? Nobody really knows, but it is something to be prepared for. And these steps are just good things to live by in general, and will always put you in a position for success, really. So really try to follow these 4 or 5 steps, and I think that you'll be able to not only survive a recession, but also put yourself just in a good position in general. Again, my name is Danny Brown, Myriad Real Estate Group. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments.